Welcome everyone to our celebration recognizing World Religion Day. We are so glad you could join us. Our program will start shortly. We really appreciate you taking the time to be here with us and help us celebrate World Religion Day. And I'm your host, Ron Marotte. I'm a member of the Baha'i community in St. Cloud and also a contributing member of the team who helped put this production together with Bette Bartos and Diane Kuehl and myself. We've been working on this with a short timetable and have been so grateful to have the response of individuals who've agreed to contribute and collaborate with us on recognizing this particular day. I'm going to share my screen and move us along into a little bit of the program here. We have quite a few faith traditions who are starting and joining with us. I would like to ask you to keep yourself on mute from now on, and that you will stay on mute, and the speakers also stay on mute until I call you up, and we will move into the program. And right now we're going to talk about the purpose of religion, and this is from the Baha'i writings, but it is universal to all of the religions of the world. It's the prophets and holy manifestations of God are the educators and trainers of the world of existence, the teachers of the world of humanity. They liberate man from the darkness of the world of nature, deliver him from despair, ignorance, error, imperfections, and all evil qualities. They clothe him in the garment of perfections and exalted virtues. And so with that in mind, it was recognized that we should have such a thing as called World Religion Day, which was initiated by the United Nations in 1950. It's celebrated worldwide now on the third Sunday in January each year. And it's described in Wikipedia as the purpose of World Religion Day is to highlight the ideas that the spiritual principles underlying the world's religions are harmonious and that religions play a significant role in unifying humanity. And I think we all can agree on that. It doesn't matter what your nationality is, what country you're in, or so on. It knows no borders. And so you can be a Catholic and share your religion with people in every corner of the world. And that is true for most religions now, is that it doesn't matter what your political persuasions are and where you live, we don't know any borders. There is a particular prayer for America in the Baha'i writings, which I thought is really quite notable. And it goes, "O thou kind Lord, this gathering is turning to thee. These hearts are radiant with thy love. These minds and spirits are exhilarated by the message of thy glad tidings. O God, let this American democracy become glorious in spiritual degrees, even as it has aspired to material degrees, and render this just government victorious. Confirm this revered nation to upraise the standard of the oneness of humanity, to promulgate the most great peace, to become thereby most glorious and praiseworthy amongst all the nations of the world. O God, this American nation is worthy of thy favors and is deserving of thy mercy. Make it precious and near to thee through thy bounty and bestowal." We are going to be honoring some of our guests and welcoming them to our presentation today. Frank Chartrand is going to start us out, followed by Doug and Emily Wright. Roya Akhavan is going to follow them, then Loren Weinberg, Joel Bartos, Pastor Obataye Powell, the Reverend Dr. Malcolm Nazareth, and Bette Bartos. At this point, we're going to call on Frank Chartrand. And Frank, while you're unmuting yourself, we are going to share a little bit of what you're going to be sharing with us. And Frank has a mystery prayer song, which he is going to be offering to us. He's a member of the Dakota tribe, and Frank's spirit name is Stone Skyman, and he is of Dakota ancestry with bloodline traced to Chief Ink Caputa. I hope I pronounced that right. And you can see what some of the translation is going to be. And Frank, I'll turn it over to you, and you can share accordingly.
Okay. Can I speak into this?
Yeah, it's cool.
I just want to say thanks, first of all, for the invite. Thank you all. And good to see some old friends, even if you're virtual right now. Hi, Karen, Joe, welcome. Okay, I'm going to do a smudge the drum first. So here, you want to show them? Okay, we're going to smudge the drum first, so that no negative energies go upon it. And we do the drumsticks as well. And thank Jerry for letting me use his drum on availability. All right, the translation you're reading here, Wakantanka, has you got a great mystery printed. English translation would be like that'd be like God in English terms, and Tunkashila, grandfather, that's like saying Jesus Christ in English. Just a little translation, closest to English translation. Oi. Wakatanka tonka heya che wakielo. Wakatanka tonka heya che wakielo hey. Mitaku yeo waniktacha tonka heya che wakielo hey. Tonka shila, tonka heya, chewa kielo hai. Tonka shila, tonka heya, chewa kielo hai. Itaku yeo wanitacha, tonka heya, chewa kielo hai. Wakatanka tonka heya, chewa kielo hai. Wakatanka tonka heya, chewa kielo hai. Itaku yeo wanitacha, tonka heya, chewa kielo hai. Tonka shila, tonka heya, chewa kielo hai. Tonka shila, tonka heya, chewa kielo hai. Itaku yeo Oh, that's yeah, I thought that'd be more appropriate as it says the great mystery than the day song I was planning. And this talks of saying your higher power and name, as the other song I was going to choose didn't have Wakantanka on there. So I thought it'd be more appropriate since we're voicing our higher power today. So anyway, so thank you. Wopita.
Very nice. Thank you so much for doing that. It's wonderful. We're going to move into our next guest. We've got Doug and Emily Wright. Emily and Doug Wright are members of the Baha'i faith and have played music together for over 30 years. When they are not teaching ukulele students or performing their original music, Emily works as an interfaith hospice chaplain, and Doug works as an electrical engineer. Please unmute yourself, and you guys are up next.
Okay. Hi. We're going to sing a prayer. Blessed is the spot. Blessed is the spot, the house, the place, the city and the heart, the mountain and the refuge and the cave, and land and sea, the island and the land, where mention of God hath been made, and His praise. The spot, the place, and the city and the heart, and the mountain and the refuge, and the cave and the valley, and the land and the sea, and the island and the meadow, where mention of God hath been made. His praise. Blessed is the spot, the house and the place, the city and the light, and the morning, the refuge and the cave, the valleys that smile, the sea, the God hath been made, and His praise. And His praise.
Wonderful. Just wonderful. Thank you guys for sharing that. We'll move on to our next guest is Roya Akhavan. Dr. Roya Akhavan is a professor at St. Cloud State University and a member of the Baha'i faith. She will offer the prayer, "Say God is sufficient unto me," and she will do it in a way that reflects the authentic improvisation in Persian chanting. Roya, make sure that you're unmuted, and you're up next.
Thank you. Yes, as Ron mentioned, this prayer goes, say, God is sufficient unto me. In Him, let the trusting trust. And it is about trusting God under all conditions. قل الله يكفي عن كل شيء وعلى الله فتوكلوا المتوكلون قل الله يكفي عن كل شيء وعلى الله فليتوكلوا المتوكلون.
Thank you, Roya. That was really lovely. Thank you for that. And then we'll move into a blessing song that was provided by Dr. Malcolm. And I've got that queued up right here. And
may we become aware of the sacred spirit flowing within us, through us, and all around us, energizing and urging us to be creative, courageous, and compassionate hearts, hands, and voices for our beloved Mother Earth and all our oppressed sisters and brothers. We are all invited to actively participate in this body prayer. I invite you to now stand as Lovely will lead us with simple actions.
We are the heart, we are the hands, we are the voice of spirit on earth, and who we are and all we do is a blessing to the earth. We are the heart, we are the hands, we are the voice of spirit on earth, and who we are and all we do is a blessing to the earth. I am the heart, I am the hands, I am the voice of spirit on earth, and who I am and all I do is a blessing to the earth. You are the heart, you are the hands, you are the voice of spirit on earth, and who you are and all you do is a blessing to the earth. You're a blessing to the earth. You're a blessing to the earth. You're a blessing to the earth.
we had that gift from Dr. Malcolm, who provided that for us. Our next guest is Joel Bartos. And Joel is an atheist, musician, and amateur astronomer. Joel will be talking a little bit about Stonehenge, Newgrange, the winter solstice, and the associated festivals and worship of that day. He will also sing a song about the sun. So Joel, turn your mic on and make sure you're available, and welcome, Joel.
Hi, everybody. I'm Joel Bartos. You all know it was the winter solstice, December 21st. Long before there were any of the current religions on Earth, there was sun worship. So first, Newgrange in Ireland. A little bit about that. The structure at Newgrange is probably Ireland's most iconic archaeological site, and it is indelibly linked with the winter solstice. It is over 5,000 years old, older than Stonehenge by 1,000 years, and the Egyptian pyramids by 400 years. It is roughly circular, about 80 yards in diameter and 12 yards high. Here is a picture of it. Newgrange contains a passageway facing east, that'd be that way to us, that is about 20 yards long and leads into a central chamber. The central chamber was a tomb at one time, but Newgrange is most famous for its tie with the winter solstice. Winter solstice is the shortest day of the year and appears to be a significant time of year for the people who built Newgrange. In fact, the whole monument was designed to capture the first rays of sunshine on the morning of the solstice. On the 21st of December and a few days on either side of it, something special happens. As the sun rises above the eastern horizon, a single beam of sunlight creeps slowly up along the tomb's passageway until it reaches the inner chamber. Here is a picture of that. Stonehenge is another archaeological site relating to the winter solstice. I won't talk much about that. So winter solstice itself, or hymeneal solstice or hibernal solstice, is when one of the Earth's poles has its maximum tilt away from the sun. It happens twice a year, once in the northern hemisphere and once in the southern hemisphere. For each hemisphere, the winter solstice is the day with the shortest period of daylight and longest night of the year, when the sun is at the lowest elevation in the sky. Since prehistory, winter solstice has been a special time of year in many cultures and has been marked by festivals and rituals. It marked the symbolic death and rebirth of the sun and the beginning of longer days and shorter nights. Here are a few examples of festivals and customs revolving around the winter solstice. Iranian people celebrate hemisphere's winter solstice as Yalda night, which is known as the longest and darkest night of the year. In East Asia, winter solstice is one of 24 solar terms called Danji in Chinese. Karen might know about that. In Japan, in order not to catch a cold winter, there's a custom to soak in a yuzu hot bath. Other holidays celebrated on the winter solstice include Alban Arthan, which is Welsh, Brumalia, which is ancient Rome, Koro Chan, which is Slavic, Yule, Neo-Pagan, and Midwinter Day in Antarctica, believe it or not. Now I'll sing a song about the sun or sunshine. You'll recognize it. Sunshine on my shoulders makes me happy. Sunshine in my eyes can make me cry. Sunshine on the water is so lovely. Sunshine almost always makes me high. Hi and bye. Thank you. That's it. Hope my audio is okay.
Thank you, Joel. That's wonderful. We will move on to our next presenter, Loren Weinberg. Loren, you want to introduce yourself and make sure your mic is turned on. And away you go.
My name is Loren Weinberg. I'm a retired high school teacher. I'm a member of Jewish faith. We have a small community here in St. Cloud. Many of us, like myself, do go to synagogue in Minneapolis, since we have none here. My education began as a child living in a Jewish ghetto, essentially North Minneapolis. So this is kind of something you just learn. What I'm doing today is I have a recording from the Moscow Choral Society Synagogue. I'm doing it this way because having commuted with our choir director for many years, he told me never sing in public. This prayer is called Adon Alone. It is one that is usually sung at the end of a service. This version is the Ashkenazi version. Okay, just a second here. I hope this works. The translation of this is as follows. Before creation shaped the world, eternal God reigned alone. But only with the creation done could God as sovereign be known. When all is ended, God alone will reign in awesome majesty. God was, God is, always will be, glorious in eternity. God is unique and without peer, with none at all to be compared. Without beginning, endlessly, God's vast dominion is not shared. But still, my God, my only hope, my one true refuge in distress, my shelter sure, my cup of life, with goodness and real limited. I place my spirit in God's care, my body too may feel God near. When I sleep as when I wake, God is with me, I have no fear. As I said, this is usually sung at the beginning of morning services and always at the end of any service such as on today, Shabbos. And I wish everyone a Shabbat Shalom, a peaceful Sabbath. I don't know if there's anything more.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. I'm glad we got that in the program. That was wonderful. We'll move on to our program. Our next offering is from Pastor Obataye Powell, who was unfortunately unable to be with us this afternoon, but provided us with a video that he wanted us to share. I have to warn you that the sound quality, the audio is a little bit poor, but we're going to play it and we'll get that going. Before I do that, I should finish. Reverend O.B. Powell is the conductor, minister of music, praise and worship leader. And he said that he's singing Troubled Don't Last Always, recorded by the late gospel music icon, the late Reverend Timothy Wright of Brooklyn, New York. So this is what he's performing in his church.
I'm
We've got Dr. Nazareth coming up, and he has a Hindu prayer that he was going to be sharing with us. I want to make sure I bring up the right share here, Pranam Mantra. And Malcolm, if you want to talk about this just a little bit.
Sure. This is a chant from the Vedas, from the Ishavasya Upanishad. The Purna mantra is about the divine fullness. You're welcome to join me as I sing, or you can just sit and listen. It is very easy to pick up. I'll be repeating the same line over and over. Okay. So we begin with Om Purnamadam Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamev Avashishyate. That is fullness. This is fullness. From fullness emerges fullness. Fullness taken from fullness. Fullness alone remains. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate 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 Purnasya Purnamadaye Purnamevavashishyate Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Very nice. Thank you for that offering. Very
Welcome.
nice.
You're welcome.
Let's move on to our next guest, Bette Bartos, member of the Baha'i faith. Bette Bartos is a member of the Central Minnesota Baha'i community and serves on the Spiritual Assembly of the Baha'is of St. Cloud. She loves to sing and encourage and lead others in praising God in this most melodic of ways. Bette, make sure your mic is turned on and away you go.
Okay. Well, we have heard and listened to different ways that humanity has called upon and celebrated the force, the entity, the mystery that is responsible for existence, whatever you call that. And so now, being that we've been given this light from all these different sources, it's time for you to show your little light. So we're going to sing This Little Light of Mine. We're going to talk about spreading it all around our neighborhood and everywhere we go. And then after that, we're going to do an echo song about the power of unity and how it can illuminate the world. So here we go, sing along with me. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. All around my neighborhood, I'm gonna let it shine. All around my neighborhood, I'm gonna let it shine. All around my neighborhood, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. So powerful,
So powerful
is the light
is the
Is the
light
light
of unity
of unity
that it can
that it can
illuminate
illuminate
the whole earth.
the whole earth.
So powerful
So powerful
is the light
is the light
of unity
of
unity
that it can
that it can
illuminate
illuminate
the whole earth.
the whole earth.
The whole earth.
The whole earth. Thank you for that. That's wonderful. Well, we're on to the end of our program. I'm going to make sure that I thank each and every one of you for being here. It's been wonderful that we were able to get the audience that we have, that you've taken time out of your day to join us. I want to thank all our guest guest presenters today for coming in and joining us. The committee members was Bette Bartos, Diane, Kuehl, and myself. Thank you all and each and every one of you for attending. There are more multi-faith related activities going on. This weekend, of course, is Martin Luther King weekend. In St. Cloud, there's a whole variety of events going on the 16th, 17th, and 18th. Make sure that you check that out and join in if you can. Please visit the faithleaders.us website. It is a group of faith leaders in the central Minnesota area who have collaborated on initiatives that are of common faith-based purpose. That website has a number of connections for you to reach out and join other groups and find some more information about faith-based activities. Baha'is of Central Minnesota also have a website that you can visit, get additional details and more information about activities that are going on there. And if you're looking for ways to volunteer, go to the justserve.org website, and they offer lots of different ways that you can get engaged in your community and help and serve others. Before we leave, make sure that you post any comments, suggestions, reactions in the chat. We would love to hear about your impressions and suggestions, and maybe if we do this again next year, that you may have other presenters who you'd like to see represented here on this particular activity. And again, you can also leave your name and email and your address in the chat, and subscribe both here and on the websites that you visit. So we are going to continue next to our closing prayer. And I'm going to ask Diane to please step forward. And Diane, who is also the committee member, Diane, can you step and say this? Make sure your mic is on, actually.
O God, my God, aid thou thy trusted servants to have loving and tender hearts. Help them to spread amongst all the nations of the earth the light of guidance that cometh from the company on high. Verily, thou art the strong, the powerful, the mighty, the all-subduing, the ever-giving. Verily, thou art the generous, the gentle, the tender, the most bountiful.
Thank you, Diane. And thank you, each and every one of you, for joining us today. It was really wonderful to have you all here. It's good to see faces again. Stay connected in your communities and reach out and gather when you can with loved ones in a safe and COVID manner. And we look forward to seeing you all again soon.